Elise, lead us with our final pitch.
So I don't really have strong opinions on my actors, but Joe, you go on and on about Dev Patel. I'd like a shorter man with like quite a lanky female companion. But you already go on about Dev Patel, so I was like, I'll pick someone different, and I've picked a taller man, and that's Luke Pasqualano. I think he'd make a very good Doctor.
Let's Google. Who would we know him as?
He's in like lots of he's not really got one role that he's famous for, is he? He's in like bits and bobs everywhere. I liked him in Rivals.
Oh, okay. He's in Skins as well, like Dev Patel.
Yes, yeah.
What's his name again?
Yeah.
Luke Pasqualano. I think that's like that's sure.
Rivals. Nice. Okay.
The Musketeers. That's where I know him from.
See, I don't watch enough to actually know where actors are from.
Okay.
Oh, he's well fit.
Well, aesthetics are important, as you covered, Rosanna. And then I'd have someone Daisy Edgar Jones-esque as my companion.
Nice.
And she is a character called Molly. And I can't see what she's saying.
It's the actor.
Oh.
He looks like Prince Caspian.
He's what?
He looks like Prince Caspian.
She would not stop the other day when we watched Voyage of the Dawn Treader. She would not stop the entire time just going, no, but like Prince Caspian, he's amazing.
The exact same.
Right, we'll stop interrupting the pitch. Go on.
Sorry.
So my companion is from the 1950s, like late 1950s, maybe 1957, and she has... she's quite young, and she's a waitress / barmaid at this like town pub, and the Doctor meets her there. But the dynamic between the Doctor and the companion is the Doctor's whole arc is that he's kind of become set in his ways a little bit. He's this adventurer, he's this one that's admired, he picks up all these companions that stare at him with wonder, and he's got to this point where he kind of expects that of everyone, and he's gotten a little bit cocky. But this isn't something that we notice right at the start, it's something that becomes apparent as it goes on. So here he is picking up another young woman off the streets, and we love their dynamic at first. We go, oh yeah, we're in for another season of good old romping around the universe, woohoo! But Molly is a very nervous she's very unsure of herself at the beginning. She's not like a Rose. She's not going to get stuck into things straight away. So when the Doctor goes, I'll take a little trip in my TARDIS, we'll go and have a little look at the stars, she realises that she's kind of got herself involved in a lot more than what she bargained for. When the Doctor's like, don't wander off, she's like, why on earth would I wander off? I'm literally on an alien planet. I know no one here but you. What on earth would possess me to wander off? But she's quite timid. She's very kind, very gentle sort of companion at the beginning. And then as the series progresses, the 10-episode series, maybe about 45, 50 minutes with a longer finale, like maybe, over an hour finale. As this progresses, this tension starts to grow, where the Doctor is like, I'm the main character, and she's...
the main character, sorry.
He's the star of the show. And
do.
is, one of this revolving door of people that come into his life, and he's like, well, yeah, humans are amazing, like, they mean so much to me, but he's gotten very used to the idea that they're not going to be there for very long, so they are sort of replaceable to him. Whereas for her, she is just this, like, oh my God, this man's dropped out of the sky and he said, do you want to go for a trip in my box? Like, this is everything to me. And she doesn't quite realise that that's not the same way for him. And she is obviously, she's a human. She's a past companion, a historical companion, but she is a human. And as the Doctor goes through the series, tricky decisions start to be made. And the kind of crux of the turning point is the 9th episode. We've felt this tension sort of rising. The 9th episode, I think I've told Joe and Artie about this before, but is an episode based on the story of Lady Jane Grey, the 9-Day Queen. So the episode is just called 9. And I know, it's just revolutionary.
9, full stop.
Yay.
Oh no, no punctuation. So we don't the Doctor and Molly are separated during this episode, and Molly, we haven't worked out the finer details, but she ends up being like a lady in waiting kind of position, and you've got the threat of Mary approaching, and everyone's, Lady Jane Grey was a young girl that was literally propped into this position so her parents could have this, political advantage. They were literally just, she was, how old was she? Like, she was really quite young. I think she was about 15 or something, that was literally just a pawn moved around and ended up getting killed. And it's kind of a sort of mirroring a little bit about how Molly's feeling, like she's just sort of being there for the Doctor's amusement, but she goes, Jane, we're in this together. Don't worry, babe. I've got this friend and he's going to get you out. It's fine. And she's separated from the Doctor for this whole episode. So as it comes to the end of the episode, she's reunited with the Doctor and she's like, quick, we don't have much time. We have to save Lady Jane Grey. And he's like, we can't, babe, we can't do that. Like, there's history, isn't it? And she's like, what? And all of these decisions that he's made earlier on in the series, all of these people he's saved and everything that he's done is like, but Doctor, you do this. This is what you do. This is kind of what I've been putting up with you, because you are a good person. You are morally right. And you are making these decisions and saving people. And he's like, not that one. she's kind of in the history books. And then Molly starts to realise that it's all because he's out of time. It's all in the history books for him, and he can only meddle with certain things. And she's like, no, that is not fair. So in the next episode, which is the finale, something happens again. Haven't worked out the final details, but the point of the sort of final moment is the fact that Molly ends up killing someone or doing she attacks the aliens. The Doctor gives them this second chance and she's like, no. And she cuts in and she's like, I need to protect myself. I've been this scared little wanderer going, you're so amazing. I have been naive. Absolutely not. I'm not doing that anymore. So she kills the aliens or does something that, potentially like could mess up time or whatever. And the Doctor's like, no, what are you doing? They get back into the TARDIS and she's about to be like, this cannot go on, take me home. But he can't cope with the idea that she's going to leave. So he goes, you're out, I'm kicking you out. And they end in this like anger, and that's series 1. But yeah, there's much more. There's 3 series, some with fully written episodes. I've got about 10,000 words in a mind map. But that's what I'll give you for now as a taster.
What I find really interesting there is that the Doctor he's so like masculine in all of like, no, I don't want to cause controversy here, but like it's all like the negative bits of like masculine, like all of his reactions are like, well, hang on, you want to leave me, but I didn't want you in the first place, get out. It's like all of that, like it's I think it's a very interesting perspective. The only thing I will say, I like my Doctor Who a little bit happy. That's really sad.
I know, this is what people
Maybe a
keep saying.
Christmas episode and get them back together like Clara and the Doctor.
So it's for most of the series, it's you've got Happy Clappy Dr. Molly, and there's starting to be weird things. The only kind of sad bit is the fact that they leave and they're like. But there's another character that is sort of floating around in series 1 that ends up becoming a companion in season 2. And then in season 2, the Doctor and this new companion run into Molly, and he dropped her off in the wrong decade. So she's now in the 1980s and she's had a son. So now she's like, I need to sort this out because I've got you are running around. You showed me this, like all of these dangers, and I've got like a child to look after. So she does that by joining Torchwood in the 1980s.
You can get a Captain Jack cameo as well.
Could do.
They still love me.
But it is happy, I promise. I'm just highlighting on the more depressing bits because that's the more interesting stuff.
But I agree with you, because I love it when the Doctor argues with a companion and really, I think it brings, because also as an actor, you'd like to show off. You like to show off your chemistry. You like to show off your emotions. You like to. That's why I don't really like new companions, because they don't do any of that. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I don't like the carbon copy companion as well. I hate it. I mean, I complain about it enough, so I think the viewers might run out. I hate it when they come in and it's like, oh, we've met you, TARDIS key. Now it's episode 4, so we're going to show you briefly at home with the parents. Like, I hate that.
What's the format? Like, how does it? Is it because I think the best
Isn't-
way to do what, as in what you're like, the best way to get rid of episode 4, you go and like the step by step is to make it that Stranger Things approach. When
So
you
it-
make it one long story, you don't have to follow beat by beat that we've seen so many times.
Yeah.
Like your post regeneration story as well. Like none of us
Yeah.
have specifically mentioned that, but I'm so like we haven't even seen that many of them. But I'm also a bit tired of post regen. You need just meet the Doctor. But what is your
Yeah.
format before we
So-
get our special judges in?
When you meet the Doctor, this is a bit of a Christopher Eccleston entrance. Like there's this cafe bar thing that she works at is an absolute chaos. She ducks behind the counter, and then she has a crunch and she pans over and the Doctor sat next to her eating crisps. Like what's all this about? Then kind of vibe.
That's cool.
And yeah, so 3 seasons of 10 episodes with a little Christmas special thrown in there. And the first season is very Monster of the Week, but with this underlying thing that kind of erupts in the finale. And then it gets a little bit more intertwined in series 2 and 3 because the son, Molly's son, Paul, he's going to end up being the companion in series 3, and he's got like the reverse character arc to Molly, where she goes from being this sort of like, oh my goodness, wow, this is amazing, and then goes to being like, I need to have some boundaries here. He starts off and he's like, well, Mum's told me some not very great things about you, but and probably a little bit better written than that.
It's like poetry, it rhymes.
Yeah, and he slowly starts to, because him and the Doctor are going through, I'll spoil it for you, they're going through the grief of losing Molly together. So they end up on this journey. They're like, you're the closest thing I have to her.
I like that idea of the Doctor treating a companion as like disposable, almost like accessory-wise. I think that's a really...
Martha.
It's a really interesting... Yeah, kind of, but more...
But Martha
yeah.
never got her moment.
No,
I think that's the thing, like the Doctor being so old now. And I think it also ties in with the show itself. The audience have seen it all before. Like and having it become like, because it's almost literally commenting on the fact that this formula is so tried and tested that even for the central character, it's like, oh well, I think it's nice. But I will now send the invite link to our super secret special guests.